Okay, it's 5:15. This is a Health and Safety Committee meeting in the City Chamber Halls. I call the meeting to order. First item coming up here is minutes from previous meeting. Consider placing them on file. Yeah, thank you.
Motion to place them on file. Second.
Okay, here a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I forgot we should have discussion. Okay. Item 3, nuisance complaints. Mr. Ashbeck, you have one item. I see the same one.
That same one, the attorney's still working.
Anything new?
Yeah, now we had one from Whispering Pines Trailer Court, but they said they would take care of it, so we're just going to monitor it. Do you have anything to add to that?
My understanding is that the resident in question is moving,
Right.
and that should be resolving itself if that's truthful information.
To the county?
To another city, I'm told. But we shall see. I've been led astray before.
Any further questions for Mr. Ashbeck? Okay, moving on. Discussion and consider the approval of the vouchers.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? I have one question. It's on page 11. EJ Metals Customs, Reliant Fire Apparatus Incorporated.
That'll be us, and it's actually in my monthly report, but I can mention it now too.
Okay.
That was for the purchase of a new wildland rescue skid unit for side-by-side. That was funded through, that was through a DHS Flex grant.
You're going to discuss that later on, you said?
Yeah. What was wrong with the old one?
Nothing.
I see we got $420 for it.
Okay. And that's the only question I had was that I didn't know exactly what that was referring to.
Yeah, I can say though, I mean, the Alderman Killer was to replace that when we got the new unit. We used the old one until obviously the new one was purchased. Actually, it worked out because we originally, as you know, planned for the replacement of our 60 to use that. So we found alternate ways of doing it. And that was on our list to replace that. So it worked out actually pretty well to use a grant for it.
Any further questions on any of the vouchers? Okay, there's been a motion and a second to approve the vouchers. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? That passes. Item number 4, general agenda items. Consider a temporary Class B picnic license for the Lincoln County Fair Association for the dates of August 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th, 2023 at the Merrill Festival Grounds in conjunction with the 2023 Lincoln County Fair. What date Buck was on that picnic license?
Motion to approve. Second.
I hear a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against? Okay, that passes. Item number 2, discussion on the deer population within the city, possible solutions. This is brought back to the committee in the March meeting for continuing further discussion. And there was a deer struck on K that prompted this, and plus there was some complaints up near the golf course about the deer population maybe getting out of hand. And we had discussed within this meeting maybe promoting the deer hunt within the city limits, maybe some signage up, and if I recall, that's pretty much all we could do.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go, is to promote
Right.
within the city the ability to do so.
Right.
And outside of that, we're on to kill tags.
Right.
And they're very difficult to fill where you need them probably. I think there's a lot of fawns this year too.
There
I
are.
see a lot of fawn kills on the side of the road.
Yeah, and what we looked in, using snipers or...
Well, that's part of the kill tag thing. So if we have to go that route, I think the police department, even if we did it, it would be difficult to to do that in areas where it would make a difference.
Yeah. How stringent is like a bait ban? Well, now it is because we're all in the CWD and technically nobody can do that, right?
Yeah, that changes from year to year, it seems, or incident to incident. So before the one location in our county popped hot on that list, then I think it was allowed, but I haven't hunted deer in a couple of years. So.
If there's a neighbor that's not happy because somebody's baiting, who deals with that? You or the DNR?
Well, it's illegal to feed deer in the city anyway. We have an ordinance prohibiting the feeding
But
of
there
deer.
are people that do that.
There are.
So,
yeah.
and who enforces it?
We issue tickets for that.
You are
Yep.
the enforcer. Okay.
Yep. As long as we can access to see, lawfully access to see the violation, then we usually try to get them to correct it on their own. If they don't, then we issue a citation.
And crossbow is legal in the city limits?
For archery hunting.
Archery.
Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion on the deer issue in Merrill? Okay. Moving on. Consider placing the following monthly reports. Chief Klug, could you just briefly go over what you have in your fire department report?
Sure, on page 1 there, I'll highlight the significant events, issues, activities. I'm sure everyone by now is aware of the city's new website, including the fire department. We provided some updated information for the website. Back in June, we hosted the city safety meeting at the station. It's a way for department heads and members of that committee to get together, review accident claims, things that maybe we can do as employers to continue to make the workplace safe. Hosted Great Lakes testing for annual ladder testing. That's a requirement for the fire department. Also, largely thanks to Alderman Kaler, the unveiling of Lieutenant Thomas Beckman Trail street sign. Dedication ceremony for that was back on June 17th. And that was, seemed like it went over pretty well. I was unable to attend, but a lot of positive comments and appreciation from the family. Attended the local emergency planning committee at the service building. Their new county EM director has been pretty vocal and encouraging to get that committee up and running, or probably more meetings, a little bit more active perhaps. And then finally, as we mentioned under the vouchers, we did get a new rescue wildland firefighting sked unit for our side-by-side that was done at EJ Metals, and that was purchased on, as I mentioned, should be DHS EMS Flex grant from the state, so that's how that was funded. And obviously I have the other items in your report. I'd be happy to take any questions, comments, or concerns you may have.
On page 35, you had some training with your new fire person on hydrants. Are all hydrants the same in Merrill? Or are they all standard?
The water department does a good job. I think it pretty much made standard as far as the same type. For us, throughout the city and working with the water department, we know that there's different flow rates from those hydrants, depending on where they're located and the size of the main underneath them. So that's pretty common for us to get out there and try to use them and flush them. We work pretty well with the water department on that because we also report to them too an estimated gallons of water use when we do training.
And then,
Pretty common during the summer. A lot easier to train during the summer than the winter on that.
Pressure same in all hydrants, or
No,
vary
once again,
from place to place?
depending on the location, geographical layout, and size of the main, you get different pressures depending on where you're at.
And then Nelson also had some training done in first response kind of stuff. Your rookie fire person.
Oh, the active shooter
Yeah.
management. Yep, she's been really aggressive and willing to go out and do extra training, and we have a form for all employees that they fill out to request to go to various trainings, and we try to accommodate as many of those requests as we can throughout the year.
Okay. That's all I have. I just thought a couple of items. Okay, anything else? Okay, I'll take a motion to put the fire report on file.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. Moving on, Fire Chief Bennett, or Police Chief Bennett on the police.
So our usual formatted report is attached. I can take questions on that if you have any, or I can move on for a few announcements for upcoming events.
I had questions on the police part of it. Have you gotten out on the Bourbon Trail at all? On the new vehicle there?
Yeah, the new vehicle's been out.
Yeah.
We still haven't officially trained everybody yet. We do have a checklist of items we want to touch base with everyone. And one of the interesting things that we take for granted is that some of our younger employees are not grandfathered anymore and have to complete the ATV safety course. So we do need to get that done.
I did see a car go down there last week. I don't know where it was, but
They can sneak on the trail. We have had some communication with the Park and Rec director as well as WPS about putting something more meaningful in the way of the typical drive-on points. And I think we're getting there. I think we'll have something before the end of this year for sure.
Any other questions for Chief Bennett? Okay, hearing none, I'll have a motion and a second to put police report on file.
So moved. Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and that passes. Establish date and time for the next meeting. That would be Monday, August 28th at 5:15 here in the Chamber Halls. Does that work out for everybody?
Did you have other announcements?
What were the other announcements? Just nothing major, but I can turn them up if you'd like.
Okay, I'm sorry. Chief Bennett.
It's okay.
Just Chief Bennett has some announcements.
Community events is also for those listening. We have the
Night out.
Cops at Clover's coming up tomorrow, actually, which is a fundraiser we've been part of for a couple years now. And it actually raises funds to bring gift cards back into the community. We should be people in need, typically around Christmas time, but it actually is used throughout the year. It has filled a need in the city. So we'll be doing that tomorrow at Culver's. Culver's is a great participant and partner in that. And then we have a couple more Cops and Kids events coming up, archery and another fishing event. Monday is the Badges and Bullseyes archery event, followed by Tuesday, which is community night out down at the festival grounds. It's a busy lineup happening here. I think we have Black Squirrel Scurry happening this Saturday. Some ATV races down at the fairgrounds.
Do you have to block off some roads for Black Squirrel or?
Temporarily,
Yeah.
just temporarily, yeah.
Okay.
That's a great event that's growing. There's a lot going on in the next couple of weeks. And then also August 3rd, we might have a dedication of 2 signs outside the police department here as well. We're waiting on an official time for that, though, I believe. So
Time is 1 p.m. We're just waiting on one family.
definitely August 3rd, 1 p.m.
If we're waiting on that other family.
Okay. We'll see.
And the fair's coming up, obviously.
And then the fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a lot of preparation here. All right, we set the date. Next item, public comment. Is there any public comment? Second time, any public comment? Hearing none, I'll call for an adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
I hear a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And thank you for joining us tonight for the Health and Safety Committee meeting.